Good evening. I'm Michael Leon. Today, we're delving into a topic that has recently dominated headlines, a topic that, upon closer inspection, reveals far more about our society than the individual involved. I'm referring to the tragic shooting death of Charlie Kirk in Utah. It's a somber event, and I must begin by acknowledging the gravity of any life lost to violence. However, the national response to this particular incident merits a deeper, more critical examination. We've seen flags fly at half-mast, a symbolic gesture typically reserved for profound national mourning. Yet, it's an observation I cannot ignore. Charlie Kirk is reportedly the 18,533rd American shot and killed this year in the U.S. Within hours of his shooting, 3 other people were shot and killed in Colorado. It's a grim statistic, and while we're asked to mourn one, the collective sorrow for thousands remains largely unacknowledged. This imbalance isn't merely an oversight, it's a telling symptom of deeper issues within our societal narrative. Following the initial news of Charlie Kirk's shooting, many grappled with how to react. For some, the impulse might have been a dismissive or even celebratory one, a reflex understandable given the divisive figure he represented. However, the gravity of any death demands a pause. Yet, this pause does not equate to a performance of grief. I will not feign sorrow for an individual who, by his own public statements, would likely have considered me, a critic of certain narratives, an adversary. My perspective dictates a clear, unyielding stance here. Neither mourning nor celebration is appropriate. This isn't about personal animosity or a lack of basic human respect for life itself. It's about recognizing the uncomfortable truth behind how such incidents are often co-opted and framed within our society. The widespread, almost performative sorrow demanded for one, juxtaposed against the silent statistics of thousands, reveals a selective application of empathy. This selectivity is not accidental, it serves a purpose, one that we must critically examine as this narrative unfolds. Let me be crystal clear. His death doesn't make me happy. I neither mourn nor celebrate. However, it's crucial to understand the implications. Whoever pulled that trigger didn't do it for me, and they didn't do it for you. They didn't silence Charlie Kirk, they amplified him. The power structure never cared about that boy. They used him. And now, tragically, he's more useful to them dead than he was alive. A mediocre, dangerous, and polarizing figure like Charlie Kirk has now been transformed into an impeachable icon for the very fan base he likely despised. Any criticism of his ideas is now deemed disrespectful to the dead. This isn't resistance, it's a gift to the security state he probably thought he was attacking. It's stupidity. Or perhaps, as some conspiracy theories suggest, it was a calculated purge of an expendable asset to create a more powerful symbol. They will use his death, oh how they will use it, to paint every dissenting voice, every cry for a more just world with the same bloody brush. They will use his death to avoid, once again, ever having to look in the mirror. They will hold Charlie Kirk's body up as a shield against any examination of the society that created him and the society that created his killer. The society they made, the one they rule. And we, by reacting emotionally, have only strengthened their hold on that society. They're going to use his corpse as a pulpit to preach from, and you've just validated all the lies they're going to be preaching. The truth is, the Charlie Kirks of the world are not the enemy. The enemy is the society, the system, the power structure, the so-called civilization that creates boys like Charlie Kirk. And also because he presented a childish, simplistic, cartoon portrait of America that only a young boy could ever believe in. He presented an America without complexity, without guilt, without the burden of its terrible history. That's a seductive product, and America has always been an eager market for it. He existed because of supply and demand. You demanded, and the power structure supplied. The killer and the killed are products of the same sick society. Listen, you don't defeat someone like Charlie Kirk, a tool like him, by letting that tool mold you into exactly what they want you to be. That killer didn't deliver justice. He delivered to the power structure an even more enhanced weapon. Some of you out there cheering about what happened, you're fools. When you celebrate, all you do is elevate and strengthen their narrative. Charlie Kirk was not an outlier. He was a product. He was the logical output of a system designed to generate exactly what he was. He didn't create the demand. The demand was already there. He just exploited it. He sold a fantasy where all the problems of modern America, economic decay, cultural displacement, political powerlessness, are the fault of immigrants, minorities, or wokeism, some internal enemy not in power. Now he's been killed, and his death is going to be used to service that same system. The security state benefits, the politicians he supported benefit, the media benefits because they get endless hours of content, debate, fear-mongering, and polarization minding. The entire apparatus of control gets a massive boost. His killing was not an attack on the system, it was a gift to the system. You didn't extinguish a fire, you just scattered the embers and made it more dangerous. The individual who pulled that trigger, their motives are irrelevant. Their actions served a deeply counter-revolutionary purpose. You didn't help Muslims, minorities, immigrants, or women. You didn't help anyone. All you did was exactly what they created Charlie Kirk to goad you into doing. You contributed to the climate that they created Charlie Kirk to create. They're both servants of chaos, the killer and the killed. You don't need a bullet, you need a brain. You need a mind that can't be manipulated. You need an inflammable heart that can stay calm, cool, and collected when everything around you is in flames. You can't let the hatred of a people cause you to act unjustly or to advocate for or endorse injustice. Don't let that boy's enmity towards us or ours towards him make you think his murderer is our ally. You don't answer words with bullets. Back in the day, when the Muslims fought against the kuffar would bring their drummers and singing girls to egg them on. Nobody ever killed them. That's what Charlie Kirk was. You don't win a war by targeting the singing girls and drummers of your enemy. That's no strategy. I've said many times, you have to erect your partitions around your discourse, around your people, around what you let into your mind, or you're going to lose your focus, your purpose, get confused, and make bad decisions, wrong decisions, unjust decisions, immoral decisions, because you let yourself get provoked. For me personally, I didn't care about Charlie Kirk yesterday, the day before, and I don't care about him now. I don't mourn and I don't celebrate. That's strategic indifference. And I don't respect anyone who tells me I'm supposed to grieve or be happy. What is he to me or me to him? He certainly isn't more important than the hundreds of thousands of my brothers and sisters. You didn't mourn any of them, and I didn't tell you to, because I already know how you are. I already know that your performance of mourning over Charlie Kirk has nothing whatsoever to do with respect for human life. He was just a vessel for an ideology that you hold sacred, an ideology that dehumanizes people, that disregards the sanctity of life. We've seen that on full display for the last 2 years. So no, obviously not. I'm not the least bit interested in accommodating your weaponization of selective compassion and selective sympathy. Now, if you want to paint my indifference, if you want to spin my indifference as if it's approval of the crime that was committed, well, okay. I already know that you never do anything but lie anyway. I know you are from exactly the same manipulated, mutated, mutilated, and maladjusted population that created the demand that the power structure met by giving you Charlie Kirk, and then gave you his killer. Meaning, you're just part of that mob in America, that same collective monster that's responsible for the American genocide of the indigenous people, for genocides in Guatemala, Bangladesh, Iraq, Cambodia, East Timor, West Papua, and in Gaza. It is through this unwavering pursuit of clarity and understanding that we can truly begin to dismantle the narratives designed to keep us divided and distracted from real justice. For us to sustain this independent analysis and continue to bring you these crucial perspectives, your support is invaluable. So continue to support our channel, share our discussions, engage with our content, and help us expand this critical dialogue. Your participation makes all the difference.